I really like what ADA's done to start the weekend. It's kind of bucking the overall trend. It did a great job bouncing, and yet a lot of people are bearish and negative and complaining, and they keep forgetting that right now, guys, this is textbook. We're doing exactly what we need to do here. And this is actually pretty essential for this next run that can happen in the crypto market. And we're going to talk about quite a few things going on here and more. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So when we look at the market in totality this morning, it's about 6:18 a.m. Central Standard Time, and you can see just a sea of red almost everywhere you look. Very few assets are actually green, but yet ADA is in fact one of those green assets. Now it's only up 0.2%. We'll see if that holds even by the time this video comes out. But what I will say is we continue to see ADA do what it does. And what I mean by that is stay strong, see conviction from holders, hold above its 20-day moving average, and keep showing signs that it does in fact want to break out to the upside. In fact, we tested the top of our trend overnight. I think a lot of people missed this. Everybody was crying and complaining about price dropping in the back half of yesterday's afternoon. I was on the golf course. I didn't really care about the short-term price because I understand where we're at from a structure standpoint. And what we saw was we basically hit overseas money, and they're like, nope, shot things back to the upside. They bought and they bought and they bought and they bought. Almost every single hourly candle up to about 3 a.m. was a green hourly candle. They're taking advantage of the opportunity that's there, while a lot of other people just continue to cry and complain and whine about where we're at. Guess what? It sucks. There are red days in the crypto market. It's not a new thing. And what I want to remind everyone of, and there we did just flip red. What I want to remind everybody of is, guys, we're in our Wyckoff accumulation model. This isn't a surprising thing. Stop acting like this is new, right? We are in our SOS phase. This is the chop like we've talked about, okay? We are doing our retest from all the way back here in the middle of February. It's an up and a down thing. It's not surprising. There will be red days. There will be green days. There will be chop. We're waiting to break out into phase E. We're not there yet. There will be a moment where it comes. And actually, I have to say, sometimes I feel like a bit of a therapist just because I get to see all the ranges of emotions and people just being way too emotionally invested in their assets. And what I will say is that what we're seeing from an emotional standpoint right now is essential for this next leg, because there's a lot of people right now that are bearish and think that things are going to continue falling. And so they're dumping their bags and they're waiting for lower prices. Well, guess what? That's what happens right before we get breakouts to the upside. Last time, it was a 35% run over the course of a week. All right. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen right now. It might, because what we have seen is just this huge amount of short interest just continue to creep into the crypto market. All right. Again, looking at ADA in terms of the long and short leverage liquidation heat map, you guys can see we did liquidate some longs on the way down in the early part of the evening, and then we liquidated some shorts on the way to the upside. And what's still present above here that I keep looking at and just I keep rubbing my hands together and just getting excited about is all this short leverage that is above these ranges. That is huge, huge fuel for the fire. If BTC, which is also now in a compression zone, if BTC decides to make some extended moves here, if it really tests the top of this because it's now compressed once again, we could easily see assets go on a run. And the great thing for ADA is that it has all that short leverage above there. You could see ADA get a very easy pop to the upside. This isn't surprising stuff. This isn't new news. And yes, sometimes I might sound redundant or like a parrot, but the thing is when the fundamentals are remaining the same and people just continue to freak out, I don't want anybody to be surprised when runs start happening. Now, what I will say is that institutional money just continues to buy. It's not really a surprising thing. This isn't new news. So retail is the only one that right now is freaking out and crying, complaining, and dumping. And actually, I noticed something very interesting in terms of the BTC US 500 chart. So right now, we're actually getting our retest on that 20-day moving average. And why this is so essential is we've had many times where we've come down, we've retested this, we've gotten a slight breach, and then we surge to the upside. This actually happened. Oh, guess what? Last time we ran 35% in terms of ADA. We saw this take place back here in the middle of April as well. We saw this on our last run up here too. Look at this right here, basically into the early part of November of 2024. Boom. Same thing right here, October 2024. Boom, boom. Right? This can be traced back every single time we've done this. We've done these retests. It's not really a surprising thing. So again, textbook Wyckoff accumulation, textbook BTC US 500 chart. This isn't really surprising stuff, guys. Okay. And you might wonder why I stay so bullish and why I'm so level headed when it comes to this. And it's not because I'm a perma bull, and it's not because I'm looking through things with rose colored lenses or anything like that. It's because I'm a realist. I've never said that every single day is going to be green and that it's going to be exciting all the time. There's a lot of times of suck in the crypto market. In fact, some of the most exciting times are very short windows. In fact, when we look at ADA, right? Like I said, here we go. Basically 3 days of super excitement, right? And then some days of just blah, 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 right? Same thing. 1 day of super excitement, blah, 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 blah. That's the way things go sometimes, okay? Now, I will say there are some good things that are still taking place in terms of ADA. We actually missed talking about this, and I've seen very few people actually even mention it, but Coinbase is actually going to be launching wrapped XRP, ADA, Doge, and LTC on the Base network, which I think is actually kind of a big deal because Base, as far as layer 2 goes, has in fact been growing. So this could obviously give more exposure to ADA. ADA is obviously in almost every single exchange in the world anyways, but the more exposure that ADA has, the more interest you can see from other chains. I think that's actually kind of a big deal. So, but what I will say is this is, guys, leave your emotions at the door. I'm not a therapist. There's no place for feelings in finance. And if you just be patient, if you wait, your future self will thank you. Now, this isn't financial advice or a guarantee or anything like that, but I've learned that this is the way to do things for decades now. For those that aren't familiar, I've been investing in markets for over 20 years. When I first started out, even in crypto, I had to kind of check myself because there were times where I got emotional. It sucks when you see, a 10% volatility in a day, but there are also times where it's very rewarding. And I will keep reminding people time after time after time that we are still incredibly early. This bull market cycle hasn't even really kicked off in a big way yet. We haven't even really seen major adoption. And what that will lead to is some pretty exciting things in the charts. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.